Right, hello one and all, my name's John Clare, this is
Ruben Pish,
and this is the Post Watch Post Mortem. And today's film we're going to talk about in the last of our Halloween Shocktober series, as this is going to be coming out on the 31st of October, which is Halloween, or as we prefer to know, as we know it as in Ireland, Samhain, which is the original festival that Halloween is based on. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're just after watching Nosferatu.
Yeah.
The original 1922 movie.
Black and white.
Black and white.
Silent.
Mm-hmm. And fuck me, was it a hard watch?
Oh, come on.
It was, man. Come on, look, I was falling asleep towards the end. Do you know what I mean? Badly. Yeah. I mean, I was looking at practically a couple of points. I think you didn't turn around to me and said, "John, you're falling asleep there, mate."
Yeah, you're falling asleep. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to it's hard to be stimulated by a movie where there's no dialogue, only text, and it kind of make you understand how the people how we evolve as a like media consumer thing.
Oh, undoubtedly.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you got to think about it. I mean, in terms of technological advances, advances in not just technology but also technique. You know, the fact that we're able, in terms of the way, I think there was only 2 shots in the entire film.
Where the camera was moving. Yeah.
It was like one panning shot across the Carpathians, and it's one shot where this little fucking weird geezer has been chased through the town of Weisberg.
All those all those crash zoom, and all those technique have been invented 20 years later, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
it was in Germany as well.
Yeah, I mean, undoubtedly. I mean, you got to bear in mind. Look,
the movie that the director that did, I can't remember the name of the director, but it's very controversial because he was a German Nazi propaganda movie. But it's the one that basically installed like the trolley shot, the crash zoom, all those camera technique that we're using today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, but yeah, that's the thing though. You could also, because I remember when I was doing film studies at A level. We did Battleship Potemkin, which is basically like a massive fucking, propaganda movie for the Soviets at the time. And you had there's a famous sequence called the Odessa Step sequence, where this trolley kind of like this baby pram kind of rolls down the stairs. That was actually lifted. You ever seen the Untouchables? The gangster movie, Kevin Costner and Sean Connery.
No.
Okay, well, that scene was lifted. Basically, they kind of lifted it
as an homage.
As an homage, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, there's I mean, there's no doubt, right? This film is influential, of course it is. And then I look at the scores. I know you got. It's very difficult to not, for me anyway, to watch this movie because while I understand this was shot in 1922, while I shot that,
while basically 100 years ago,
while I accept also that it's very primitive in terms of its use of technique, that it was a silent movie and everything else, so it is very primitive.
No, it was not primitive at the time. It was futuristic at the time.
Yeah, but I'm talking about now from our perspective in 2023, not their perspective in 1922, right? I'm looking at it as if I would watch a modern movie, because that's what my brain is used to. That's what I've over many years. I'm an old man now, but by some definitions at least, anyway. And because of that, it's very difficult for me to watch this movie and not watch it in the same way as I would watch other movies. And when it's not engaging me in the same way, like when the camera cuts are going on too long.
The iris thing. So basically, they have
the iris transitions. So
they use the aperture to close the lens and open the lens back again.
Yeah. I mean, like things like I'm sorry, lads, but in terms of a narrative, in terms of a good, it's just not a good movie. I'm sorry, it just isn't.
It's roughly adapted from the
Bram Stoker book.
Bram Stoker, yeah.
Yeah, I've read it.
Yeah,
and the book's way better.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know people mostly say, "Oh, yeah, the book's so much better than the movies." No, I don't mean it in terms of like the book is better than the movie. I mean it is in terms of like the story, the characters. I mean, you get behind the likes of Jonathan Harker, Mina Harker, and all the other characters that are involved, and the whole thing about Dracula coming to London and everything else. and also like how the lads at the end, well, I can't remember all the characters' names, but like how they all come together in the end to defeat Dracula,
Literally to kill Dracula. Yeah.
Like there's a lot more to, right, in the book. There's a lot more to it, right? And I like the fact that also in the book, a lot of it is told in diaries and then told in journals and stuff like that. So, you know, there's this kind of like, it's always done through
detective, a bit of a detective work kind of thing.
Well, no, it's all, no, what I like about it is it's always told from the perspective of the characters.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So you get their kind of viewpoint on it and everything else. I mean, don't get me wrong, the language can be a bit hard because, like, you got to bear in mind the book was written, I think, in the 1860s. I think it was written a while ago, and so what, over 160 years ago. So, like, the differences in language can sometimes be a bit difficult. But yeah, I think, like, in terms of, like, I'd much rather read the book than watch Nosferatu again, because Nosferatu is just.
There's many remakes. There's one Herzog did in 1970s.
There's one coming out next year.
Robert Eggers, the guy from The Lighthouse, that's his name.
Oh yeah.
Is planning on I think it's on editing. The movie is being edited right now.
Okay.
With Willem Dafoe.
He'd probably be a great Dracula though.
It would be great. Willem Dafoe would be a great Dracula.
I mean, how expressive his face is.
I know. Yeah. Just going to check something. I'm just going to check something very quick.
Okay. We're having issues with this is kind of the issue when you kind of like.
I need a mirror at the back of the room so I can see the frame.
Oh, yeah,
but just a tiny bit perfect.
Okay,
we got that. Yeah, we go.
All right, so now I'm a little bit more in frame, but yeah, in terms of how I mean, look, the film itself, look, again, it's influential.
Yeah, 100 years old,
and it's 100 years old, so you got to make allowances. You have to, but in terms of and I don't know. I mean, how did you feel viewing it? I mean, like, what's your perspective on it?
I think there's a lot of cool technique.
Yeah.
Like the basically nowadays they call amateur technique.
Yeah.
But back in the day, do like a lot of stop motion. There's like speeding the footage. There is like cross dissolve, double exposure, and stuff like that. Those techniques they were basically still in the infancy stage. Like yeah. And most of them was. The pioneer of the thing is the French director and magician Georges Méliès. I cannot stop talking about him. I'm sorry, but like
that's understandable. I don't mind you doing that.
Yeah, it's the first. I think basically he saw the Lumière brothers movie, like the Train arrive en gare or the Arroseur arrosé, like like the guy who's like the washer, the washer man. What's it called in English?
Gardener.
The gardener there, because like the guy step on the hose, and the guy look at it, and it's like that was the end of the movie.
Yeah,
and he saw those movies, he saw the train thing, and see how people would be like amazed and stuck. Like at the time, people would be glued to the screen.
Yeah, it was terrifying.
We see Nosferatu, they would just like, what's going on? Like
yeah, of course. Well, don't get me wrong. I mean, I could totally understand that because, like, at the time. Like this film, when you look at it in the context and when it was released, I don't doubt like it was from the perspective of someone in 1922. This film was amazing. And
what's a bit amazing is from what I see, Georges Méliès always used studio because he used light because he couldn't. He was not trusting natural light because natural light was changing.
Yeah, you can't trust natural light even now.
You can't trust natural light. This movie was shot in natural light most of the time.
Yeah,
like outside. Which like
there were some sets.
Yeah, some sets. But like most of the movie was shot outside.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a technical difficulty at the time. Like,
yeah.
Because So like I feel like it's respect for that. Like
Oh no! Don't again. Like I will say this right. I will respect the movie in terms of what it did for cinema and in terms of like pushing the art form forward. All of that, of course. I mean, like. You've got, like I said, you've got to kind of make allowances. But the problem I'm having with it is that I can't look at it as someone in 2023 and say that it's a good film.
No, it's not a good film as by today's standard.
Huh?
By today's standard, it's not a good film.
No. By today's standard. Because, like I said, everything has progressed so much in the last century. You know, in terms of technical progression and in terms of technological progression. Like, there's been so much moving forward since then. Like, not just the introduction of sound. Here she is.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh la la. Camille, you can move the light if you want. Not move it. Oh, sorry. Or you can drop everything on the table if you want. I'm sorry. Oh.
You're right, darling. Take your time off.
It's okay. I was just going to put back the light. Okay.
Yeah. This is the bit where you go, right?
Merci Camille.
I'm alright, darling. How are you?
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay, yeah, sorry. This is the issue with like shooting in someone's front room, and really, you know, one of these days we'll have our own studio. Fingers crossed. But yeah, getting back to the movie though, yeah, in terms of technological progression, in terms of technical progression, a lot's happened in the last century. And even if you go like movies like 20, 30 years from this, like you got to bear in mind, like sound was introduced, Technicolor, widescreen formats, you know, so much technological progression happened in such a short period of time. And then in the late 80s, early 90s, you had like the introduction of CGI and everything else.
There's like also like stunts as well with the work of Buster Keaton.
Buster Keaton.
Buster Keaton, which was an homage of Buster Keaton in John Wick. Do you remember, like in John Wick 2, there's like in New York City, there's like a billboard showing Buster Keaton.
Oh, that's right. Yes,
because
yes.
it's basically the first stunt actor, basically.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he was doing all these stunts, like he was like there's a car passing by and we'll grab the car, also like do like and flying away like this.
Yeah.
You know, you will do all the sort of crazy thing, like yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was a fucking lunatic, immensely talented, but a complete fucking lunatic. But yeah, in terms of like. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, what you got to bear in mind is, like, Nosferatu, right, is, yeah, in terms of its actual narrative, I mean, it does have, like, huge problems with narrative. It does have huge problems with, like being engaged. For me personally, in terms of, like, how it engages me as the audience member, because it is plodding. It is, I mean, it's an hour and a half.
It's not plodding.
It is.
I
think like plodding. It's very kind of like slow. It's very slow. It's very, but not in a deliberate sense.
There's not a lot of plot because it's extremely straightforward.
Point A, point B,
point B. But it takes forever to say to point A, point B. Like,
yeah. And in show don't tell. The thing is, like, I mean, in any visual art form, show don't tell is a big thing. And you know, in this movie, it is tell don't show. You know, because it's like huge. Like, and another thing is, like, I don't go to the cinema to fucking do any reading. If I want to do reading, I'll pick up a fucking book.
It's not of a it's not, you know, like, yeah, I understand. Okay.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? I mean,
some people like there's some movie that try to bring back silent movie as an homage or as you know, like to talk about that era. I was talking about The Artist. French
yeah, you were
movie.
talking about that earlier.
I talked about it like a lot, but like I think some people saw it was black and white and silent. Some people left the cinema.
And once upon a time, that would have been a very real concern for us, because, like, even now, like a lot when you see a movie in black and white, I mean, look at Sin City.
Sin City.
Right.
No, Sin City is like it's a style. It's
Yeah,
more like
it's stylized, but it's black and white with like hints of color every now and again, like with the occasional flash of yellow or the occasional flash of red. But
The Lighthouse.
The Lighthouse, yeah.
Actually in black and white.
I haven't seen it. I want to see it badly. I really want to see The Lighthouse.
Maybe next Halloween. We'll do Lighthouse next Halloween.
Well, we could watch the new Nosferatu next Halloween.
Also, as well, yeah.
Compare one against the other, you know.
We watched the 1970s Herzog one as well.
Could do that.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not? We could do so many things.
I know.
So much possibilities.
I know. The possibilities are endless, sure.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, I just can't get in. I can't get into this movie. I can't watch it. I can't. You know, the characters.
You watched it. You did. Well done.
I tried.
Yeah. So basically, if people say like, "Oh yeah," some, you know, like talking about Nosferatu, you can say like, "Yeah, I saw it. It's bullshit."
Yeah. Oh yeah, we didn't. Yeah, but I'll guarantee you, some twat will turn around to me and go, or turn around to you. So for instance, me and you were talking about it, and we didn't like it. Well, did you like it?
No.
No, fair enough. So,
but like, I appreciate like what it gives to the modern cinema and
yeah.
Like,
but I didn't like
but
it.
Like basically, the scenario is basically. See, you told me I never read the book.
Yeah.
Was it called the book?
Dracula.
Dracula.
Yeah.
Literally, the book is called Dracula.
Dracula.
It's like they didn't read the book, they read the back,
Synopsis.
synopsis.
Yeah, that's what it is.
The movie was a synopsis for they're like, how can we stretch a synopsis for an hour and a half?
Yeah, but the thing is, in the book, there's like all kinds of mad shit goes on. Like fucking, there's like a horse chase through the fucking mountains at one point. Do you know what I mean?
We
There's
saw the horse thing because
yeah, I know, but it was a real. I mean, you can. There's, believe it or not, there's real potential within the book for it to be cinematic. You could see. You can almost see like this.
Actually, the movie Dracula with Kenny Reeves and
Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman
And Winona
is
Ryder.
accurate to the book, pretty much.
Ish. I haven't seen it in years.
There's
Though. I'd
a
have to watch it
horse
again.
chase. There is yeah.
Yeah, I would have to watch it again. Because I haven't seen it since I was a kid, so we'd have to sit down and watch
the
it.
young man and his wife is in the. Who played the wife of?
Mina Harker. That was played by. Fuck it. I just said her name. Winona Ryder, I think it was.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, it's been a while. I can't really comment on Dracula because I haven't seen it in a long time. So, because I went through a mad like horror movie phase in my teenage years. So I used to watch horror movies up the wazoo. I used to love them. Candyman, fucking, the Hellraiser movies.
I never was a horror movie fan.
I used to love horror movies.
No.
I used to really love them. Because like on Sky, we used to watch Sky Movies, and then like late night at 12 o'clock, they'd always have the horror movies. We'd always me and my brothers would be sitting up really late watching horror movies. But yeah,
But it's the first vampire movie.
yeah, it's the first vampire movie. It's based on a literary classic in Bram Stoker's Dracula, one of the greatest Irish writers of all time.
And I want to talk about another like vampire movie that I really like.
Go on.
What We Do in the Shadow.
Love that film.
Do you know the housemate? The
Well,
housemate.
werewolves, not swearwolves.
The housemate in the underground, not the underground, the how do you call the underneath the house, the foundation,
Basement.
the basement. The housemate in the basement is based on Nosferatu, do you remember in the movie? In the movie, you go downstairs and there's the fourth housemate. That's very old. Extremely old.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'll leave a chicken in your in your coffin there. There's like a house meeting upstairs. Okay, like it's so funny to see it's so terribly funny to see vampires, or basically supernatural human being with immortal human being who struggle with dishes and
just day-to-day life in general.
Day-to-day life, internet,
Just the whole thing. I mean, I want to. I need to rewatch the fucking
fashion as well. They don't know what to dress, so they basically they do because they don't have a mirror to see each other. They draw themselves and show each other how they look like.
Oh, that's when Taika Waititi made good movies.
But it's so funny and so it's like, yeah, I love that movie. And also there's a lot of there's two movie. Apparently, two. What's the name?
There's a TV series.
No, what's the name? Nicolas Cage did two vampire movie. There's another one was released recently.
Oh, he did Nosferatu.
Comedy.
Did he do a version of Nosferatu recently?
Yeah, no, it's a bit like the movie he did recently is a bit of a comedy and is a bit based on What We Do in the Shadow, pretty much. It's you can check it out if you want, but yeah.
I will check it out at some point. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, modern horror movies, especially thing is, you got certain horror characters that are indelibly within our culture, like Dracula, like fucking Frankenstein.
Frankenstein, yeah.
Yeah.
Frankenstein is not hasn't been represented that much.
Maybe I think Penny Dreadful was done well, I thought. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean?
But there's everybody in Van Helsing.
Oh, fuck Van Helsing. That was stupid.
But I kind of like it when I was a kid. I like it. I like the crossbow thing. Hugh Jackman is cool in it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but also all the werewolves look like they just come out of a fucking shampoo advert.
Yeah,
they all look really shiny and glistening. It looks fucking weird,
Sweaty.
man.
Sweaty.
It's like, did they go to a doggy groomer beforehand?
The Dracula Bride was pretty cool as well. The morph into the thing was pretty good.
Maybe I've only watched it once. I didn't really care to watch it again. I just thought it was goofy. But
It is
yeah,
goofy, yeah. It's an action
well, yeah,
movie,
whatever,
yeah.
whatever you're into. I mean, some movies are designed to be fucking goofy, and they're designed to be and just purely entertain for entertainment's sake. You know. Pardon me, sorry.
Oh my god.
Oh, good God.
Keep on burping.
I know my mother's gonna be fucking shooing me out every time she sees me vape or burp on one of these podcasts.
Oh.
Jesus
God.
Christ, John. What the fuck are you doing?
Well, she's probably the only one seeing it, to be fair.
I don't know. We got like the last one got about 30 views. I mean, like, we're still fucking new to this. So who knows? One day we might develop a cult following. Who knows? I mean, that's why we keep doing it.
Yeah,
like
keep doing it.
Yeah, we'll just be persistent until you fuckers actually start paying attention.
Keep doing it.
But yeah, I mean, like, let's have a look. Right, based on the book by Bram Stoker. Let's see if we can find some interesting things to talk about with this particular movie, because in terms of the actual quality of the film, I mean, I was struggling, man. I'm sorry, I don't think it was a good film.
Oh,
I just think, yeah, you're right. It's a very basic plot that they dragged within an inch of its life. The pace is absolutely fucking plodding. The acting's fucking overacting. I hated the fucking geezer who played Hutter. Hutter was a fucking clown.
Smiling
he was
all the
just
time.
smiling all the time. I was going to punch him. But
the lady who basically have eye wide open all the time, like.
oh geez, like look at the trivia. The movie was banned in Sweden due to excessive horror. The ban was finally lifted in 1970. What fucking horror? I mean, that
I think
film
it's
was
the hand thing.
Oh, it's boring.
The
though.
rats, that's horror as well.
Oh, jeez, it's boring. There's nothing scary about it whatsoever. I mean, I appreciate it. Back then, it must have been truly terrifying. But no, it's not. There's about as much. I mean, I'd have more fucking like chills and thrills watching fucking the Ghostbusters cartoon. You know, it's not a good movie.
Maybe they heard it was. That could be a problem of they heard it was a scary movie. So they fear that it would be too scary. It's like Gremlins.
Oh,
Gremlins was
banned
in some theater because it was like just too violent. But do you know why it was?
That's because it is fucking violent.
No, because the guy who did the critic read the original script was much violent. Then
it's toned down.
Yeah, toned down. For example, the one on the script of the original. Do you know there's a dog in the family house?
Yeah.
The dog was supposed to be killed by the gremlins, and the dog head was rolling down the stairs. Like,
why? That would be so cool.
That would be so
gruesome. Yeah.
Gruesome, but like you still have the gremlins in the microwave, the gremlins in the orange machine, thing, or like spinning and
jumping out the Christmas tree with a knife in his hand.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, this is the thing is, I remember Gremlins, right? I remember watching that as a kid, and that film scaring the fucking shit out of me.
Yeah.
The thing is, though,
E.T. scared the shit out of me as a kid.
That's because you're weird.
It's scary. E.T. is scary with his neck thing. No, it was the scene when the little girl find him and it's like along his neck like this.
Oh,
like,
right, yeah.
like this.
I can see like young Roman being absolutely terrified by that. But yeah, I don't know. I just look. I'm sorry, lads. I mean, I know there's gonna be a load of hipsters out there who are gonna turn around to us and say, "Oh, well, you didn't appreciate just the." No, we've mentioned the historical significance and we appreciate that.
Yeah.
But then, oh yeah, you didn't watch it properly. Fuck off.
No. Okay, I appreciate. At the time, the movie gave us at the time and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, like, I appreciate for the movie at the time.
No, of course.
No problem. But like from today's standard, it's not good. Like,
No, it's not a good
It's
film.
hard to watch. No, I shouldn't say it's not good. You shouldn't say it's not good. It's just hard to watch.
No, I'm going to say it's not good. I don't look. The way I look at it is this, right? That again, I appreciate what it contributed to cinema. 100%.
Yep.
It's a very influential film. But if I'm struggling to stay awake through it, if I'm openly ridiculing the characters, if we're talking, right? Because at some points we were talking, like within about fucking 15 minutes of it starting, we were talking, right, and mocking the film and everything else.
No,
we were though. Come on,
I was acknowledging. Yeah.
We were
I was
mocking.
basically talking to keep you awake. Like.
Not initially, you weren't. We were talking to each other because we found the film boring. And that's the thing, is like when it comes to entertainment, the worst thing a form of entertainment can do to anybody is bore them. Do you know what I mean? It is boring.
But like, I'll tell you, like, from people who watch that movie for the first time when they were a kid or stuff like that, or not when they were a kid because they were basically 100 years old. No.
Yeah.
But like, it's a scary movie at the time when you know nothing about cinema and you know nothing about.
Yeah, I acknowledge all that.
I think our standard got to like higher or lower, depends on the way you think about it. And it's that the movie that we find scary at the time doesn't scare us anymore.
Well, you know what the big problem with horror movies is, especially if the horror, like some movies, like look at some of the movies that we've watched, for this horror special for the month of October, right? First off, what did we watch? We watched Get Out.
Yeah.
Get Out is fucking phenomenal. Brilliant movie.
Also, go on.
Right.
I was thinking of something else.
Yeah, go on.
No, go on. Get Out,
okay.
yeah.
Get Out, brilliant movie. The Thing was, in my view, had issues, but I thought there's a core of a good movie there.
It's a good movie.
Alien is fucking phenomenal.
It's a good horror movie, yeah.
Brilliant film. What was the last one?
We saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, Texas Chainsaw. That film's fucking dog shit. I'm sorry, but it fucking is. And there's this. Now, one thing I will say is this, right? Sorry, I'm touching the green screen.
It's okay, it's fine.
One thing I will say is this, right? I wouldn't judge Nosferatu nearly as harshly as I would Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a fucking atrocious film, right? And I know there's going to be people out there, again, there's going to be hipsters and horror fans and film buffs who's going to turn around and go, oh yeah, how can you dislike it? I can, because I do. So fuck off. Like, you're entitled to like what you like. You know, I'm entitled to like what I like. Roman's entitled to like what he likes. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like art is subjective at the end of the day. You know, don't get me wrong, it's all art. It's all art. I'm not a gatekeeper. I'm not going to turn around and tell you what isn't art, what is art, blah, 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 what's high art, what's low art. Art is art is art. Fuck off. But in terms of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a fucking bad movie, right? It's stupid. The characters are dumb. I didn't like anybody in it. I didn't relate to anybody in it. That's important for me. Because if I can relate to one of the characters in there, I feel it's important as well. It's like there's always an audience through line. You know, doesn't always have to be the case, but sometimes it's a really useful cinematic trope where you have a character, like for instance when we watched Inception, and the character of Ariadne was like the audience through line to understanding the world. You know, and these are techniques that have been developed over time. So you can make a lot of allowances for Nosferatu. I still don't think it's a good movie, but I can make a lot of allowances for it. I can turn around and say, look, I appreciate that it's a movie of its time. I can appreciate that it's a movie that, when shot, was very influential and probably at the time considered like a very good movie.
And a great technique.
Yeah, great techniques and everything else. I understand, right? But obviously technology has progressed to such a level where like a lot of it comes across as amateurish. It comes across as a bit stagey. The horror aspects of it aren't particularly horrific because we've really kind of pushed boundaries in terms of horror.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, we push boundaries and our expectation is way higher now.
Yeah, exactly. So,
what scares us in it? Like, I don't know what. Do you know? I never. When the last time you were scared in a movie?
What? Actually scared?
Actually scared.
Gremlins.
I think
when I was 10.
Yeah. So when you were a kid.
Yeah.
I think that like some adults can still be scared about movies and stuff like that.
Yeah, sure.
But like, we cannot, because I think we're
desensitized.
First of all, desensitized. First of all, we have knowledge of cinema and
we're movie buffs.
Yeah, we have knowledge of technique at cinema, and so that like a movie doesn't like. Do you know I could like when I watch a horror movie, I'm not scared, but like nowadays I'll be pretty much disgusted because most modern movie what they do is like Saw or Final Destination thing is like they're gruesome as thing.
Shock value.
Shock value.
Yeah.
And I'm not like watching away because it's scary. I was like watching away because like disgust, like like fuck.
Well, yeah, I think
But like I say,
right.
like maybe we're not the best to judge horror movies. Because basically we're completely desensitized to horror. We don't feel horror.
Yeah, but the thing is though, I mean,
we don't feel fear. We don't feel fear watching a movie. And I still don't understand why people are scared watching a movie. Because I'll tell them, like, it's not real. We know, like, it's some people say like, oh my god, it's so scary. I'm going to do nightmares of that. I'm not going to do nightmares because I know it's an actor doing this. I know there's a crew walking around this, like I know it's like fake. I know it's like prosthetic. I know it's this.
Well, I will say this though, right? I'm going to play the devil's advocate against that, right? I can understand why people go to movies to be scared because there's something very visceral and very thrilling about it.
Yeah,
I mean, I remember going to watch a movie with an ex-girlfriend, and we were sitting down in the cinema. I can't remember the name of it. It was one of those found footage movies. I think it was like, I don't know, I can't remember what it was called.
It would probably be Paranormal Activity or Wreck, the zombie movie made in Spain.
No, it was like it had something to do with nuns and fucking vampires and shit like that. I can't remember what
Nuns
it was called.
Guns.
No, not nuns with guns. But anyway, it was fucking rubbish. I mean, I was sitting there bored to tears. At one point, I was actually dozing off.
You
No, but hear me out. Let me finish the story. But the thing is, like, I was falling asleep. But the thing is, like, my girlfriend at the time, she was like leaning against me. And, like, she was leaning against me, and every now and again, she'd grab my arm. I'd be like, oh, bloody hell, what? She goes, "Do you see that?" I said, "No." So how could you not see that? Because I was sleeping. I was bored.
Yeah.
I mean, I was bored by it, but she was really engaged with it, and that's why I think people are engaged with cinema.
Yes, that's true.
That's why they go there.
We desensitize. We are completely desensitized. Desensitize.
Desensitized. Yes.
By a horror movie. Completely.
Yeah. But there's nothing wrong. But again, look, we can still watch the movie. I mean, I still really love watching Get Out. I thought Get Out was fucking brilliant.
Because it's a smart movie.
Yeah. Because it engaged. Because again, it engaged with smart characters and smart writing. You know, it engaged. Obviously, again, you can't directly compare Get Out to Nosferatu. You just can't. It's not fair. It's not a fair comparison. No. But what the thing I am talking about though, in respects to Get Out and all the movies we watched in this kind of Shocktober, whatever we call it, is that like we're seeing like movies from like different points in time, right? So we Get Out is probably the most modern one. The Thing and Alien were within a couple of years of each other. Texas Chainsaw Massacre was further back into the 70s, like early 70s, 1972, I think. And then obviously you had 50 years. It was
the starting of the slasher genre.
Yeah. And then you had, obviously, you've got Nosferatu, which is like the you know, if you like, the epitome, or not the epitome, but the one of the movies that kind of instigated the horror genre in cinema. Right? Probably not the first, but one of the first.
Yeah.
And, you know, without it, would we have cinema as it stands now? Probably. But, you know, you can't discount the influence this movie had. I mean, again, it introduced certain techniques. It introduced, like, the whole kind of storytelling aspect of it. I mean, it does try. It just doesn't do it very well. And the reason why it doesn't do it very well is because it's quite primitive. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you enjoy it, fair play, but it's just not for me.
It's like you go to the Lascaux cave, you know, like the thing. There's no technique. There's no, oh my God, there's no perspective. That's not a deer. That's like,
yeah, people, the thing is, yeah, I know, we are kind of doing that.
A little bit.
We are doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, look, if people don't like the Lascaux cave, then fuck it, they don't like the Lascaux cave. You know, if they don't like those paintings, they don't like those paintings. It's like with a lot of art. I mean, like, I don't like fucking... I don't like Mark Rothko. I don't like fucking Jackson Pollock. I think they work shite. But
a 3-year-old give you a drawing like the proportion are wrong, like, and the color, like
yeah, I know. And the head's just a circle, just on top of a rectangular body. That's not properly done. The neck doesn't just fit on top of the shoulders; it goes into the chest. You know,
what's that? A stick man? Come on. You're 3-year-old.
Oh, do you know something? Do you know any people who turn around to me and say, "Oh, your art's so good"? Oh, sorry, I'm an artist as well. I don't know if you know. If you watch this channel, you probably do.
I'm an artist.
I'm an artist, darling.
It's the artist.
I wouldn't say I'm the artist, but I am definitely an artiste. But yeah, but when people come up to me and say, "Oh yeah, I can't draw a stick man," well, you can draw a stick man, and if you wanted, you could draw better. It's just entirely, it's just down to practice and time
and learning as well.
Yeah, and learning. I mean, you know, I did it from a young age, so therefore, and I've done it more or less consistently over the last 40 years or so. So, you know, I'm pretty fucking good at it. Stands to reason. But yeah, I mean, like, we are kind of kicking this movie. I do feel bad in a way. Do you know what I mean?
We shouldn't kick it. I think it's a great influence to cinema.
Well, yeah, it's a great influence to cinema, but I just can't get past the fact that I didn't enjoy it.
It's actually pretty modern for the time. When for example, the scene when they use the shadow for the to do like the thing.
Yeah.
It's actually very modern for the style, you know, like.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of cleverness with it. I mean, do you know what? I reckon if that movie had been made like, I don't know, maybe like 10 years later, 10, 12 years later, when they had the freedom to use audio. Because you've got to bear in mind, they're restricted by the fact that they couldn't use audio.
No.
So, like, they had to put these stupid fucking
text.
cards up.
Yeah, text.
You had to do a load of reading, and those cards would be up there either not long enough for you to read it all, or too fucking long. So you're sitting, I've read it twice now. I've read it a third fucking time. Oh, no, now they're cutting. Like, the acting's a bit hammy. It's really fucking hammy. Because it's very theatrical. I mean, again, I didn't like Hutter. Hutter was basically the equivalent of Jonathan Harker, I believe.
Yeah.
I didn't like him especially. I just thought he was just a goofy looking dickhead. Ellen was a bit goofy in her own right as well. I mean, like, it's just the way they acted. It was like always kind of like mugging for the camera all the time. It's just I couldn't get part. There was no subtlety. And like, I mean,
it was pantomime.
Not only that,
it was basically pantomime.
Yeah,
and pantomime.
Also, like the fucking Dracula just moves. He just moves really slowly, and he's like, it just looks silly. I mean, it's like really difficult to take seriously. And again, I know I'm kicking this movie because it came out 100 years ago and blah blah blah. But it's just not good. It's just not good. I'm sorry.
Good by today's standard.
It's not. No, it's awful by today's standards.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm looking at Rotten Tomatoes here now. Rotten Tomatoes, like the scores, I don't understand. Okay, I can understand in a way why I got 97% from the critics, because the critics are going to, things with critics of any kind of art form. What they like to do is they like to pontificate to the unwashed masses, the plebeians. That their understanding of cinema, the art form of cinema, seems greater than theirs. I've seen every Herzog movie, it's just one of those kind of twats, So therefore, they're going to turn around and they're going to pontificate and they're going to turn around and tell you why this is brilliant. Fuck it, you got to do your job. You got to do your job, right? The audience score I don't quite get, because it's coming at us with an 87%. Like, I can't understand how, unless like they're all fucking movie students, or there was like 10 of them that 9 of them liked it and one of them didn't.
Or they're all German.
Or they're all German. We are not biased. We are totally Our films are so great. Yeah.
To be fair, it's the history of Germany, or the German. It's the history of German cinema. Like Méliès is the story of French cinema.
Yeah, I suppose.
Buster Keaton is the story of American cinema, and it's actually part of we shouldn't judge this movie as art piece, but more of a history piece.
No, it should be. Look, art is art. Again, I don't want to strip it of that title.
No, but
art.
Back to the Standard it's bad.
Yeah, it is bad.
But historically speaking, it's fundamental.
Yeah, it's very important. It's
because
fundamental.
If you don't have that movie, you don't have a thing. It's same for Texas Chainsaw Massacre. If we didn't have Texas Chainsaw Massacre, we'll never have Alien.
True.
You would never have Alien.
Yeah.
We'll never have the Halloween. We'll never have the I don't know if it's a good thing or not. We'll never have all the horror genre. Without Nosferatu, we'll never have a horror genre.
Well, what I wouldn't say go as far as to say that. I will say that this film has justifiably got quite an important role to play within the history of cinema. Absolutely.
Yes.
But
undeniably.
Yep. It's just as entertainment, I didn't find it entertaining.
By today's standards.
No. Not even by today's standards. It's just like a form of entertainment. Like, again, yes, my own biases are definitely affecting the way I view the movie.
So if you were born, in 1900, in 19,000. If you were born in 19,000, you were 20 and you watched
1900.
1900, thank you.
Yeah.
If you're born in 1900, you're 20, you watch that movie, you say you're going to be amazed because you never see something like this before.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that.
And you don't appreciate it because of today's standard.
No, hold on a second. I do appreciate it. Look, it's not a case I'm turning around and saying it's as a form. Yes, I do. You have to recognise if you're going to judge anything, right? your own biases do come into play. You know, this is why art is subjective. You know, because it's a form of expression, because it's a form of storytelling. It's like how we as humans communicate with each other. Like whether it's art, whether it's movies, books, art, video games, music, you fucking name it, whatever art form it is. There is always a form of storytelling. There is always a form of self-expression. Yada yada yada. You're always trying to communicate something. Like the use of metaphors. Like for instance, what the movie did quite a few kind of later on. It did some interesting things with like Venus flytraps and amoebas and stuff like that. Using
kind of science.
Yeah,
they brought like the science of the vampire more into the book, like
yeah. But I mean, it did a few things like that were quite interesting. But the
they use macro lens and stuff like that, so you could see spiders and stuff like that. At the time, you couldn't see those in movies that close, you know.
Yeah, because it was very difficult to capture. It's still difficult to capture now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You need specialized lenses and you need specialized cameras.
You see, at the time, there's like, fuck, there's a shot of a spider. Like, I never saw a spider that big in my life. You know, like on a big screen.
Yeah, true. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you got a point there, but I think, but again, I'm not. It's just like as purely as a form of entertainment. Me myself, John Clare, I did not find it very entertaining, and you know, I think that was always going to, in a way, it was always going to kind of work against it because it is a movie from quite a long time ago with very primitive tech. In a lot of ways, I would say primitive. I want to say primitive techniques in terms of technology.
Yeah,
but primitive techniques in terms of the narrative, in terms of how to tell the story.
Can I ask you a question?
Go on.
What is the oldest movie that you like?
Fuck, good question.
Yeah, what's the oldest? How far can we go, like, so you can appreciate that movie, like a movie that's old?
Well, I don't know. Like, what old movies have I watched recently? Well, I don't know about recently, but over the years. I mean, I remember the oldest movie I've ever watched was Battleship Potemkin.
Yeah,
that was 19.
Do you appreciate?
I appreciate something because there was a lot of use of juxtaposition. Like for instance, there's a shot of like a general, and then it's cut to and it's overcut with a shot of a peacock opening its tail feathers. You know, so using juxtaposition as a form of metaphor, that kind of using juxtaposition as a way of describing a metaphor, like all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, there was you got that. You got I watched the original Scarface, the 1932, I believe, Scarface. When I was 18 as part of my film studies education. That was quite interesting, especially because we watched the 1980, was it 80 or 81?
1980,
the Al Pacino one.
Al Pacino.
You don't like that one, do you?
I have a problem with that movie. I think it's I don't really like that movie.
That's fair enough.
I think people like, what I said was, I need to rewatch it maybe. It's not I don't think it's a great movie, but like people like glorifying the movie because of the end, because of the action at the end. But I don't really enjoy the. Yeah,
because I think you know something like, because I'm currently reading the Dune books. I'm currently on God Emperor, and like especially the first two. The first book's actually fantastic. The second book is pretty good. The third book not as good, and I'm currently halfway through God Emperor, and I'm kind of not vibing with it quite as well. But in the first book, right, what was great about it, it was like the way I think it was like Frank Herbert himself. He described it like pulling an elastic band. So what he did, his form of storytelling, he'd be like pull, release, bang. That's when all the action happens.
Yeah.
So it's like you get right to the very end.
Tension. Basically, build the tension.
Exactly. So he's building the tension right to the very last. Then he releases, and then all, and then just bedlam takes place. So. Yeah, I mean, in terms of like, what was I saying? I've kind of lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. In terms of like storytelling, so like the storytelling, like there are different forms of storytelling, right? And I just think like in terms of the storytelling, because it's based on the fucking book, man. The book was there, you know. Okay, they moved it from London to Weisburg, whatever. You know, they moved it from the UK to Germany. They still make.
And I think it was the first time there was a novel that was adapted as a movie as well. No, Jules Verne was made by Georges Méliès. You know, the guy
Journey
who
to the Moon.
Journey to the Moon,
Yeah.
or thing like those were novel as well. Like
True.
Yeah.
But yeah, like but yeah, you had the original book. You already had like a template there to work from, which I don't think they chose to do.
Well, they were limited, or maybe they're limited by budget as well.
Maybe, but I think when you look at it though, right, that film would have been a very expensive undertaking. Like in
And I
1922, that would have been huge.
At that time, there was no studios. There's no studios at that time.
Yeah, but also there was no, again, like it was still very experimental. People were still kind of learning like how to tell a story in that medium. But the thing is, like learning to tell a story in any medium, like it's beginning, middle, end. You know, you set up the situation, you set up the characters, you tell the story, and then you finish the story. I mean, obviously it sounds simple, but it's a very fucking hard thing to do. You know, it's like this is why there's so few good books. I mean, those that are good are lauded to the high heavens, but there's any number of books and stories that have been completely forgotten because they didn't get the basics right, they didn't get the fundamentals right. And I think with Nosferatu, it doesn't get those fundamentals right, which is a shame.
You still haven't heard of my movie. What's your best oldest movie?
Best oldest movie. Okay, fuck it.
Was that war movie that you talk about?
Battleship Potemkin.
Did you like visually say like, oh, you should watch this?
I think you should watch it if you want to get.
But
an
like, is it not
cinema.
something that's like, oh, I watch it again? Like,
to be honest with you, you know what I mean? Because like,
is it Western? Is it Western? Is it like the? Is it the oldest movie that you like? Is it the Western movie? How do they call those movies? The guy director.
Sergio Leone.
Sergio Leone, and the other one.
Spaghetti westerns.
Spaghetti Western. Would it be Spaghetti Western? That's maybe the oldest movie that you like. Is it the John Wayne movie? Do you like it even older?
Hold on, let me think about it. Hold on a second. Oldest movie that I like. Probably. What's the movie I'm thinking of? Shit. It's one of the longest. It had the longest opening tracking scene of the geezer planting the bomb under the car. Not Orson Welles. Fuck. Bad something. Oh, God damn it. Hold on a minute. The name is I just remember the original like opening shot, which is absolutely fucking mind blowing. It was done in the 1950s. Not Orson. Was it Orson Welles? Yes, it was Orson Welles. What the fuck am I talking about? Orson Welles. What's the name of his movies? Not Lady. A second. I'm just going to try and find it here now and again. Not The War of Worlds. Citizen Kane. Not Summer. Orson Welles, American movies director. He directed it. Orson Welles. Touch of Evil. That's the one I'm thinking of. Touch of Evil. Right. That was released back in the 1950s, I do believe. 1958. That film's class.
Okay.
It's really fucking good.
Because for me, the oldest movie that I do appreciate and watch it again is Rear Window from Hitchcock.
Oh, Rear Window is such a good movie. Yes.
Like yours, that's the oldest thing you can. I don't know. What's the Three Samurai?
Kurosawa.
Can you type Kurosawa for me? Or Three Samurai?
I'll just type with Kurosawa. Kurosawa. There we go.
Akira Kurosawa.
Right.
Akira Kurosawa. And Seven Samurai, 1957. 1954. That was one of my favorite oldest movie I can know, and I'd say like I enjoy that movie.
Yeah, that's cool. That's absolutely fair. Well, that's the thing, though. I mean, like we got to bear in mind is like it's not just a case of how old something is, because you got to bear in mind by the 1950s, right? So this is 30 years after. On average, about 30 years after Nosferatu came out. Now, by that time, like I said, the technological progression from the 1920s to the 1950s was exponential. Sound, like I said, Technicolor.
Technicolor,
Technicolor, fucking widescreen, like panorama.
But bigger film as well. Yeah,
that's the thing. Is like you could what you were able to do technologically, right, was night and day compared to what they could do in 1920s. And obviously you had more money being put into it. So as you had more money, you had more technological advancement. As you had more technological advancement, you had more technical advancement as well. So like there's So therefore, what you're better able to do is you're better able to tell a story. There's more craft. You know, you're taking a lot of the amateurish out of it because everyone now working in this, they're not experimenting anymore. They know how to do it, and they have the technology to better tell the stories that they're looking to tell. You know, whether it be visually, whether it be through sound, soundtrack, talking, you know, conversation, whatever else. It's like, I mean, like with Rear Window, everything's done through conversation.
And I think the modern cinema arrived with the first basically pocket camera to like instead of having like the blankets camera. So like the first like Leica or all those that's where like photography started to be more like accessible.
Yeah,
and those director were once photographer. That's why they do like photography, composition, and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like when you have a greater understanding of the art form, right, you're able to produce better work.
The movie we saw, it was basically made by it was a stage. It was a play. So it was one scene, one thing, act 1, act 2, act 3.
Yes.
It was shown as a theater. And a theater, you don't think about the angle because everybody is watching one thing.
Yeah.
And a different angle. So this side is watching this side and this side is watching over this side. And cinema is more like photography oriented than theater oriented.
Yeah, I mean, I think what there was, I mean, don't get me wrong, there was some experimentation with it. I mean, you can definitely tell that they did try and do things. You know, I mean, God bless them. I mean, like they did try and do stuff. It's just like I said, in terms of the actual narrative, like in terms of the actual some of the technological advances, there was, like you said earlier on, with they used a little bit of stop motion here and there, a little bit of
double exposure,
you know, all that kind of stuff, and using the iris to open and close as a form of transition.
That's a classic, yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing is like they were trying.
Or speeding the footage as well.
Speed the footage to kind of make it look like it was more supernatural. There was a lot of things that they tried.
Inverted the color as well. I saw that.
Oh yeah.
The color.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they actually like they showed the negative on the film so they could.
I think that what they did, they showed the negative and they block the horse. Because the horse was still black. But they still have the negative. I think they use maybe something to hide behind the negative film.
Yeah, because
shining light through the lens as well.
Yeah, because I think what they were trying to do there is they were trying to show that they were coming into an unnatural environment or something.
Yeah, the forest is like dark forest, stuff like that.
Yeah, very very like dark evil magic there or something.
Yeah,
but I mean they were trying. I mean, like again, they were trying to do things in I'd say technologically, and they were close ups. It's just the acting was really fucking hammy, and I think the reason why the acting was hammy is because they weren't able to use their voice.
Yeah,
you know, it's like when in cinema you can sit down and watch a movie. Yeah, the characters transposed in front of you are gigantic, but they can whisper. They don't have to be loud.
No,
you know. And that's the thing. I mean, like you look at how much cinema has advanced from 1922 to 2023. Like it's as an art form, it's moved forward so much. I mean, watch Dune. Watch even like when we watch Quentin Tarantino movies. Like Quentin Tarantino often harks back, right? But he kind of like while he harks back and pays homage back to not pays back. What's the term I'm looking for?
Tribute.
Yeah, it pays tribute. Yeah, good. Thank you. He pays tribute to what happened before. He still tells his stories in a very modern way. Like if you look at like the Hateful Eight, obviously that there's that movie. If you like, very similar. It was aside from the intro, the entire film was almost like a stage play.
A stage play, but like it's still zoom in and it's camera and stuff like that.
But there's still camera work.
It's still like everybody's in the same room, and you have an angle on anybody in the room.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So if you see the first person that died, you kind of look around how everybody's reacting, like
Yeah, of course. And that's the thing. Is like I think what it was is like with Nosferatu. Like I said, God bless them. They tried. They did try. I will give them an immense amount of credit because I'm not going to turn around. I mean, because I don't. The old saying goes, no one tries to make a bad film. You know, and I agree with that. I think no one tries to make bad art.
No,
you know. I mean, even with even more controversial art or like stuff that's very kind of propaganda based, like Battleship Potemkin was. Like, what's that movie you're talking about? That Nazi propaganda movie you were talking about?
The Glory of Nation or something like that.
Yeah, I haven't seen that, but
like I haven't seen it either. But it's one of the it's basically the every technique that we use now was invented for that movie. trolley, the thing, the zoom and stuff like that.
Oh, okay, interesting. So like, but yeah, so obviously not every movie that you would want to watch, even though the propaganda you could argue is bad art, but then propaganda is there to is trying to tell a story, but with a very heavy political bias.
But every story political. Could be.
Yeah, it depends on how much you want to read into it, I'd say. Because like all art could be political or whatever else. But I think all art is political? No, I don't. But all art is. I think all art is trying to communicate something. I will say that whether it's emotional, whether it's political, whether it's ideological, whatever. I think stuff that has got a more ideological bent, like the Nazis trying to turn.
For example, like The Thing is very political in a sense. The Thing from Carpenter. There's like this, like you cannot trust your neighbor, or it was a very like a Cold War, like spy,
McCarthy era kind of stuff. Yeah, I know what you mean. Well, McCarthy was not 1960s, but yeah, the Cold War was still very much going on in the early 80s. It was still very. I still vaguely remember, a lot of stuff that
And same for alien, like the corporation basically discarding human life for science, like or stuff like that.
But what I always find about any movie that talks about like anti-corporations or they're made by fucking corporations. 20th Century Fox and Aliens case. Universal and fucking The Thing's case. Do you know what I mean? They're made by massive corporations.
Yeah, it's funny that I watched Barbie last time, and you can see in the beginning of the movie, like it's Mattel. It's in the movie. It's like Mattel. But they make fun of Mattel. They make them look like a corporation that just want money, basically.
And that's what all corporations do.
Yeah, that's what people do. And it's like what. They got away with that, they make him look like the bad guy that just don't care. We just want to make money. They're like, yeah.
Well, in a way, basically what they're doing is they're saying, look, we are a big corporation, and we want to make money, and we're going to take. But what we're going to do is we're going to laugh at ourselves while we do it, and you're going to laugh along while we take all your fucking money.
Yeah,
you get me?
Corporation.
Fuck them. Necessary evils.
Necessary evil. It is, yeah. I need to pay for all those gear that we have.
Well, look at you know what? That's the horrible thing about it is you think about it. Like we're shooting on an Apple iPhone. Yeah. Apple massively profitable.
There's an iPod there.
iPad there. Yeah.
There's Rode microphone.
Rode microphones. I mean, like when we're shooting the JDAs, we use Canon cameras for that.
Yeah, Canon. Yeah, corporation as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, corporation everywhere, man.
Exactly. We got to use their shit in order to tell our stories.
So yeah. So they don't mind that you say shit about them as long as you give them money.
All right, Apple, you cunts.
Yeah.
Rode, your cunts too.
Yeah. Samsung as well.
Samsung, your cunts. Google, your cunts.
Oh, you're massive cunts.
Oh, you're massive cunts. Who else are cunts? Canon, your cunts, but and so are Nikon, your cunts too.
Cunts too. Yeah.
Sony, your cunts. You're all cunts. Like all corporations are cunts, but we buy your shit.
Nestle, king of the cunts.
Oh, they're massive cunts. Monsanto. Massive cunts.
Yeah.
Massive cunts.
Yeah.
Pfizer, like you name it, any fucking corporation, you're all cunts. We fucking hate yous. But but unfortunately, you're necessary evils. Emphasis on evil.
Nestle, yeah.
Yeah, fuck Nestle. But unfortunately, but what did I have with my sandwich today? I had a fucking Yorkie bar. Yorkie bars are made by Nestle. Wankers.
Owned by Nestle. That's the thing is they don't do it. It's like they own the right to.
They own the brand. They own the IP.
Yeah,
it's like fucking Disney with their fucking ownership of it.
I forgot about Disney. Yeah,
fuck Disney.
Fuck Disney.
Cunts.
Do you want to watch the new?
Watch the new what?
Like I was saying, when you say fuck Disney, do you want to watch the new Star Wars?
Fucking hell, man.
Yeah, I know.
That's what makes me laugh though. Is like, I know we're going to go off a bit of tangent here. I definitely am, but. Whenever look, I've never.
But those movie with no corporation. There's no corporation between the Nosferatu. There's no corporation between two Milia's work. There's no corporation for. It just started in the American cinema, basically.
Well, no, I mean you can't just blame the Yanks for that. I mean, like,
but like they don't want to create studios, massive studios. Bless you. That was loud.
Jesus Christ, that one came with a prize.
Yeah.
Oh, bloody hell. Anyway.
But like, yeah, it was a time when cinema was, like it's for that. Maybe the budget was not great. Maybe it was basically pocket.
Yeah, but the thing is, like if we want to talk about corporations, because a lot of cinema corporations didn't actually start in Hollywood; they ended up in Hollywood. The reason why they ended up in Hollywood, I think it was it Edison who set up the first movie studio.
Thomas Edison.
Thomas Edison, yeah, this guy who invented the light bulb and fucked over Tesla. Thomas Edison, like he set up the first movie studio, right? And then because of because of something to do with tax regulations or whatever else, and California being a bit more lenient with it. Not that they are now. Apparently, they tax you up the wazoo in California. But yeah, they ended up fleeing to California and setting up Hollywood, and the modern studio system started. But things like studios became corporations, and as they became corporations, they became increasingly corporate and became increasingly bureaucratized and increasingly profit driven. Because I always feel like when it comes to corporations and stock exchange and shareholders and all this sort of bollocks, right? I don't necessarily think in principle it's a bad idea, but I also think it kind of hamstring like real kind of creative growth and technological growth, because what shareholders want is continual growth in profits. That's what they want to see. Growth in profits means their shares are worth more. Because their shares are worth more, then they're happier. So as long as the arrow goes in one direction and that's up, they're fucking happy. But if it starts going down for any reason, there's a loss of confidence for whatever reason, because they're not making money, they're not making profits, they're not driving growth. And I think this always kind of hamstrung, in some ways, this hamstrings innovation, and it hamstrings creative storytelling, because like when a movie studio whose job is to tell stories, that's their job. I mean, fuck IPs. I mean, at the end of the day, if they don't
the job is not to make stories, it's to pay a director that's what they make stories.
No. But what I'm saying is that their entire premise, the studio's premise, is to tell stories. Yes, look, they want to make money. They want to sell merchandising. They want to get people to go to their fucking parks and their cruises and everything else. I'm not disputing any of that. But in order for these IP to be worth anything,
they need artists.
They need artists and they need storytellers. If you're not telling a good and engaging story with characters that we can clearly identify with,
they need actors as well.
Yeah, I know, but the thing is, okay, like, I'm not disputing any of that. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, if you're not telling stories with characters that we clearly identify with, your IP is worth fucking nothing. This is why Lord of the Rings is massive. This is why Harry Potter's massive. Why fucking Star Wars is massive. Like all these massive Marvel, like these massive juggernaut IPs. The reason why they're big is because they have characters that people have resonated with and grown up with in a lot of sense, especially with Harry Potter. Like back in the 90s, like kids literally grew up with Harry Potter. So like there's a real strong connection to these characters. And as a result, these IPs have huge value because they can make movies that make huge amounts of money in the box office. But the fact is, if you strip it right down to its bare bones, what they're designed to do, what they're meant to do, their modus operandi should be to tell good stories. But the moment you start bringing in shareholders, the moment you start, all they want to see is, this IP is worth so much money. We can really extract more value out of that and grow our profit margins. No, lads, you're getting it fucking twisted. Because if if George Lucas didn't write Star Wars, you wouldn't have Star Wars. If Bill Kirby and fucking Stan Lee didn't like put pen to paper and come up with Spider-Man and the Incredible Hulk and Iron Man and the X-Men, then you wouldn't have also fucking the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Basically told you this would never work and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, a spider superhero, that's never worked. Like people like Superman and
but even back in the day, like if someone come along and said, "Well, I've got this really cool idea for a character called Superman. He's super strong and he's going to fight evil and he's going to be truth, justice, in the American way," and then someone's going to turn around and say, "No, fuck off! You're talking absolute bollocks here, mate. Fuck off with that noise."
Yeah,
that will never work.
One day my superhero will work. My character I invented.
I'm sure it will.
It's Ashtray Man.
Ashtray Man.
Ashtray Man. Yes, hands for ashtray.
I'm sure it'll be an absolute worldwide bestseller.
Ashtray Man.
The IP I can see will make billions.
And what's his nemesis is basically government trying to stop people from smoking. Ashtray Man.
Oh dear.
It's not fighting cancer. He's the cancer. Fight Ashtray Man. No.
Well, if anything, he's got a good jingle.
Yeah, he does a very good jingle. I had one, but like it's a bit racist. My first one was a bit racist, but like it's okay. I don't want to fuck it. It's Lemon Man, Jamaican mightiest superhero.
You're gonna get us fucking cancelled.
Lemon Man. Yeah, so he's like a Batman with like lemon. He's Jamaican, and he has one acolyte as a rat. His name is Rastatouille. He has dread. Okay.
This is so shit.
That's shit. I know that's shit.
Oh, mate, you're going to earn an absolute fucking fortune. Like, what you're going to do is you're going to earn a lot of fucking criticism. We're going to get fucking cancelled.
If you release like a plagiat of like Ashtray Man and Rastatouille and Lemon Man, I'll sue you. With the lawyers that I don't have.
Yeah, with the lawyers that he don't have, with the money he doesn't have.
Yep.
With the money neither of us have, we're fucking skint.
Yes,
well, I definitely
we're
am. Well, not poor. We're just
poor.
like...
compared to some, we're poor. It's just a scale, like, you know.
Oh, yeah, compared to some, we're rich.
Some of... Wow.
We're rich in friendship and love of our families.
Money doesn't make happiness. Oh, yeah, cool. Who say that? A rich
But it
man.
sure fucking helps. Who knows? I mean...
Anyway.
Well, yeah. If you know what, if some people would actually start buying prints off my fucking website, that would be really nice.
Yeah,
I've got a couple of sales, in fairness.
Yeah.
I have sold a couple, but I'd like to sell a lot more than that. You know. And
Get a job, John.
No, I'm going to be a fucking complete. I'm going to be a complete wastrel until this starts making money. God damn it.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm too talented to work a day job. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. 9 to 5.
I'm far too good to be working a day job.
I think it's time we turn that thing around. Turn that ship around.
Turn that ship around.
Yeah.
Right. Then.
So Nosferatu.
Nosferatu.
We were like very far.
Oh,
like,
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's
conclude.
Yeah. Let's conclude because I don't.
Yeah.
I'd look what. Okay, I've kind of said this a few fucking times.
I know you don't like it, but
I don't like it. I'm not going to fucking pretend I don't like it. I will, look, like I said, I'll give credit where credit is due in respect to its contribution towards technology, history, yada, yada, yada. But do I like the fucking film? No, I do not. I'm sorry.
Okay. But like, nobody's got to be mad. Everybody's dead now. Like, everybody that made a movie is dead.
You'll get some fucking... I guarantee you this, right? If in 5...
They're all dead. They're all dead.
Yeah, no. But not right now because we don't have a big enough audience. But say, for instance, in 5 years' time, some fucking hipster dickhead picks up this fucking podcast. I guarantee you we're going to comments underneath it. Oh, yeah, you didn't watch the film properly. I mean, sure, you fell asleep halfway through, John. So what do you know? How can you appreciate the brilliance of Nosferatu if you're not going to watch it?
Is it posh?
I don't know. I'm just trying to mock these cunts because most of them sound like fucking idiots anyway. It's like, look, I don't look.
We could have a German hipster critiquing the movie.
I'm sure we could. We could have a fucking.
You dance anything? Yeah. Oh, a terrible German accent.
Yeah. We've already established not very good accents, mate. Unless they happen to be French. But in terms of look, I know for a fact, right, we're going to have some fucking hipster dickhead, right, turn around to us and start fucking, like, remonstrating against us about, oh, yeah, you didn't watch the film properly or blah, blah, blah. You didn't understand it, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I remember one time saying, look, I love Oscar Wilde. He's, like, one of my favourite writers. And the story of Dorian Gray, I do like it, right? It's a really good book. It was written in the 1800s. But the problem is sometimes it's a bit fucking plodding. And I remember mentioning it one time on a chat board back when chat boards were still a fucking thing. And some fucking hipster dickhead fucking absolutely lambasted me. Well, you didn't read it properly. I mean, it was about art. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, fuck off, mate. You absolute pretentious cunt. Go fuck yourself. I mean, don't get me wrong. I didn't engage. I just ignored them. But it's just like my initial reaction was, you pretentious gobshite. Go fuck yourself. Just because I didn't like it in the way that you like it, why go fuck off?
Are you fighting somebody that's not there? Literally, you're fighting a comment. You're fighting a comment that's not even there.
Mate, look, let me rant.
Okay,
right?
rant.
Let me
Rant
rant.
out,
Because
rant
there
out.
are people out there. There are fuckwits out there who do that sort of shit.
Everybody's nice.
No, not everyone's. Look, it's just right. Look, you get people. Look, like I say, I don't like gatekeepers in art at all. I don't like it. Art is art is art. But there's always look. It's like when if I turn around and say I don't like Jackson Pollock, I don't. Sorry, I don't. Right. But there's going to be some dickhead who turns around to me, right? Like most people, in the main, most people, we could have an interesting discussion about it. It'd be like, why don't you like it? I mean, here's why I don't like it. Oh, I like it because I like X, Y, and Z. Fine, fair enough. You can have an interesting discussion about that. But when people start fucking getting like,
just don't talk to me ever again.
No. But the thing is, no. But I'll get into the point.
Okay, I listen to your opinion now.
No. If it's a civil discourse, like if someone's coming up to you and saying like in a civil conversation where you can have like a conversation about art or whatever else, that's grand. What I don't like is when fuckwits, who, they see themselves as gatekeepers, like, these pretentious gobshites, usually they're fucking art students, like, have gone to some kind of highfalutin university. Well, yeah, I studied art at the Royal College of Art, so therefore I know more about art than you do. Go fuck yourself, do you, gobshite. So, it's just like, what I'm doing is I'm ranting at a select group of people who see themselves as gatekeepers, who will dictate to you what is art and what isn't, and why if you don't like a piece of art that they like, therefore you're a fucking knuckle dragging heathen, and you should check your knuckles for grazies, and you're a fucking idiot, and blah blah blah. I don't like that, and that's what I'm kind of venting at.
Just again, side track a bit. Which one do you hate the most?
What?
Politician, corporate, or gatekeepers?
Give me an excuse to rail at any of them, and I will.
Okay, cool.
Because I don't like gatekeepers, I don't like politicians. I don't care what side of the divide. If you're a left wing politician, you're usually a fucking cunt. If you're a right wing politician, you're usually a fucking cunt. I don't like gatekeepers because you're pretentious cunts. And what was the other one? Corporations. Corporations are run by cunts. So I'm not a fan of any of them. Fuck them.
Okay.
So anyway, let's get back to Nosferatu. Yes. I've done enough ranting.
I think we pretty much got enough.
Yeah, I think we got enough. Look, do I like the film? No, I don't. I'm sorry I don't. But, it is what it is.
I appreciate for what he gave to the world cinema.
Absolutely. We'll round this out by saying we definitely appreciate for what it gave to cinema. We appreciate the fact the film was made over 100 years ago. 101 years ago. So, okay, fair enough if we're going to be exact.
Everybody to make the movie is dead by now.
So, everyone who made the movie is dead by now. Yeah, fair enough. But but I'm sorry, I didn't like it.
Okay.
And I'm going to leave it there.
All right, don't worry, they don't mind. Hope they don't mind.
We'll find out.
You're gonna be.
We'll find out if there's an afterlife.
Ghosted. Yeah. You said bad thing about my movie, yeah.
All right, what was your okay? You read it out. Give us your thoughts.
It's a hard to watch because of today's standard, as I said before.
Yeah.
And I still appreciate those little techniques and things that we take for granted today.
Yeah.
They look amateurish today.
Yeah.
They look, but they were like revolutionary at that time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's even acting wise, technique wise, it's one of the movies that started all. So pretty much, I'm happy that movie is there.
Yeah.
Would I rush it again? No.
Yeah, nor would I.
No.
Now that I've watched it, I can say that I've watched it. I can move on the rest of my life.
Thank you for that movie to be there, and thank you for you all to watch this episode of Post Watch Post Mortem. Wow, did I turn that around?
Fair play. In that case, then we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for watching, everybody, and for putting up with my ranting. My name's been John Clare, and this has been
Robin Presh,
and this has been Post Watch Post Mortem, and we'll see you soon.
Yes, we will. Yeah. What did we talk about the next movie? Can we talk about this now, or just we'll leave it for later?
Actually, no. Yeah, let's do that now.
Okay.
V for Vendetta.
Here we go. That's it.
We're doing comic book movies. Well, we're doing comic book movies that don't involve MC or the MCU or DCU.
V for Vendetta involves DCU.
Huh?
It does involve DCU, no?
Not directly, no.
Not directly. Anyway.
All right. So the next one is going to be V for Vendetta. So join us then. Okay. So, bye.
Bye.